Hi, M code is a formula language used in Power Query. You can use in Power BI and Excel and other Microsoft products. A powerful data transformation and data mashup tools in Power BI and Excel. It is a functional, case-sensitive language designed to manipulate, transform, and combine data from various sources. It's a functional language. M code uses functions to perform operations on data. Case-sensitive. Keywords, functions, and variables are case-sensitive. Small m and cap m both are different variables. Write the variable name as you define. Data transformation. It allows filtering, sorting, and reshaping your data. It's a customizable. You can write custom M code to extend Power Query capability. Power Query editor, you can access advanced editor where you're gonna write code and run your code. You can also use custom table. You can also customize as a custom column. You can write custom M code with calculated. You can also write M code to create calculated column or transformation of your data. While Power Query provides a user-friendly interface, learning M code allows you to perform advanced transformation not available in UI. UI that means user debugging and optimize queries. Reuse and that is why we should learn M code because M code has a capability to customize your column or customize your reshaping method that is not available in the provided user interface. Also, it is the additional skills that you have. In M code basic syntax, there are first the let expression under which you're gonna define your all the variables or all the states because M code working on the previous states that you have already defined. So every step with calculation with M code queries you're gonna define under let expression. And the second thing is in clause. Under in clause, you're gonna define what steps you want to be performed. That means whatever variables or actions you're gonna define under in clause, that will be your result. We'll see all custom functions and how to write M code in advanced editor in Power Query. It's also you can write in Microsoft Excel. We will show you Microsoft Excel in my later video, but in this tutorial we're gonna define everything, every actions you're gonna watch under advanced editor in Power BI tool. There are so many common functions we're gonna use. Table functions, text functions, date functions, record functions, list functions, number functions. And for beginners, start by exploring the advanced editor in Power Query in Power BI to see how M code is generated behind the scenes for your action. Whatever actions you're gonna take in order to transform your data or reshaping your data so that you go for analysis with. Every step generated the M code behind the scene. So let's jump to the Power Query editor in Power BI. This is my Power BI desktop. I have icons available on my desktop. After opening this uh, Power BI from the icon by double clicking, this is the first page you're gonna see here. You can do two things. Either you're gonna import your data or by clicking the icons or the options available here or you're gonna import data using the M code also. So in this tutorial, we're gonna define all the steps with aim code, not going to use any options available already with this tool. So this time going to click a blank report because I'm not going to import data with the options available. Just I'm going to have a Power Query editor because aim code gonna perform over the Power Query editor. So this is my, I have clicked here the blank report. So nothing table is imported here. So just go this transform data here. Just click this one. This will land you a Power Query editor. You can see here on the top Power Query editor untitled. Untitled means I haven't saved anything here. So that's why the untitled by default is coming. So this is a Power Query editor and here is the queries 0 in left side. And whatever actions you gonna take here in order to reshape your data or transform your data so that you go for analysis with every steps gonna recorded in the right side. We will see in action shortly here. So just right click here, new query, gonna blank query because I'm not going to directly import data with the options available with this tool. Instead, I'm going to use blank query because I want to show you how aim code performs your action. Now, the moment I click the blank query, you can see in the left side query 1. By default is query 1. You can here rename data transformations using aim code. You can rename it as per your choice. So this is the query I have renamed the first step, nothing gonna space here. This is the formula bar. You might be familiar with if you use Microsoft Excel. The formula bar is the area where you gonna define every action here. In Microsoft Excel, you gonna either type a string data, number data, or any function formula you're gonna perform in the formula bar. In the same way, we have a formula bar. So I'm going to zoom here first so that it's visible to you and how gonna write aim code for doing the action. Just give a space here. Now I'm going to import an Excel file here using the aim code. So you have to write for importing under the advanced editor. This is the area where you gonna write here or you gonna write directly in the formula bar you just seen a minute ago. Now I'm going to zoom it so that it's visible to you how to write what should I write to transform data. So in order to having data here, first need to data available in Power Query. So I'm going by using M code going to import an Excel file. So going to write M code for importing the Excel files here, Excel workbook. Now file content. Now here you have to define your path, that means the locations of files. So you first go to find in which locations your file is available. So I am going to search first where is my file. This is my file here. So I am going to right click here, copy as a path. That means the locations of this file as a path is copied, and going to paste it here like this. If anything wrong here, you can see here the error message. But if everything is fine, then no error message is coming. That means here is what is written, no syntax errors have been detected. That means there is no error in the code what I have written here. Now what is source? Source is a variable name. This is the steps. And I'm gonna define everything under the let expression. This is the let expression under which whatever actions you're gonna define, this is up to you in order to reshaping your data. And after in cloud, what you gonna write here will be your result. That means I have written a step to import an Excel file from this location, and this is my Excel file's name as a source. And now I'm going to see what is my source. So this is the step you have to display here. So you need to write the same name under in cloud and no error. Now done. Just refresh it because it's 5 years, 5 days old data. Now the moment I run the code, what I have written in advanced editor, this is the advanced editor, we have data like this. But this is not the actual data what I require. I require as a data like first column, second column, third column, no matter how many columns are included in your file. Customer name, row data, city, state, everything in this data available. I have checked everything. But this is not the way I want to have it here. I want just a real data which gonna show or display in rows and columns. So when you gonna write here, this is the name and the data, two columns display here. Name is, that means what are the tags you have available in your Excel file which you gonna import here. And what kind of these tags are there. So you have 3 to 5, 1, 7. 7 tags you have in this Excel file, and all are tables. This is what this is. Now I want to have only order table and nothing. So just click the table facing order name. Your action going to be performed. Now we have data here. And what I have steps taken here, you can see this is my source, and every things have been gone here, and now we have a final data like this. And now I'm going to show you what kind of this data look like. Now you can see this is the data we want to have it here. This is the first step of importing the Excel file. And now you go to the advanced editor, you're gonna see and the let these are the steps have been performed and we have the final steps change type. This is the change type step. Just copy and paste it here and done. So aim code always performs over the previous step. That means you have imported using the source and under source we gonna import only authors data. Where is the other data? From source. That means this Excel book source data and the tab name is order and data I want to see. This is what orders here. Now promoted header. Promoted header, that means when you import data, your header will be at the first row, not as a header. Don't worry, I'm gonna delete here this one. Let's see. And we have orders, so just copy it here and paste it here. You can see here, this is at the bottom side, it is showing as error. So anything is missing in this code or anything wrong with this code will show you error at the bottom. So you have to first pass this error. So now there is extra comma is there. That's why it's showing error. Now no error. Now run. Orders data only I want to have orders data. Now you can see I have imported orders data. Now you can see here in the order data when I import here using the M code we have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 5 like this. This is not the actual header what I require. I require row ID, order date, shift merge, shift date like this. Meaning actual headers of the columns are available in the first row. And system by default generated column 1, column 2, column 3 like this. Now what I want this row 1 should have a place as a header. That is why promote header coming up there. Now I'm gonna write to promote header. So under the advanced editor, whatever you're gonna define using M code, every action should be written under the advanced editor. Now you going to perform the next step, so you need a comma here. Now going to promote next step. So I'm going to promote the header. So promote header. This is the variable's name I have defined here. Don't worry, I'm not going to have a reusable because every software has the reusable. So in order to write the encode query, you do not allow to touch a reusable. That's why I have written here promote header underscore is the variable name. You can define as per your choice. Now going to have an equal sign. That means under promote header, what action I gonna perform here in way of M code so that we don't have any column 1, column 2 like this, and the row 1 should have a place as a header. So I'm going to use here table because this is the table which I have imported, table promote header. But which table you going to promote header? The table is this one, orders table. And you have to display the result of this one. So just copy it here and paste it here. And there is no error at the bottom. You must watch this one. The message coming up after writing your M code. If anything wrong, just first modify your OM code. Now I'm going to use a promote header because I have a promote header, the final steps defined here. Now done it. Now you can see column 1, column 2, column 3, those were available, is gone. Now we have the actual header at its place. This is the way you gonna perform uh, the data transformation or mashup or data manipulation using the M code. So every action you gonna define under the advanced editor. Now we have data in a perfect. And my final steps is promote header. Now I want to show you some actions like example. What I want to filter something. I want to filter something that the sales value is greater than 2000 should display here only. So filtering data. So filtering data. I am going to use table select rows. Rows, that means here you gonna use a comma. In table you gonna select rows. That means going to select only those rows which having a sales value greater than 2000. So here IntelliSense is showing that you have to define here table. And what is my final table? My final step is here. Just copy it and place it here. This is the table. And now the IntelliSense showing is you have to define conditions as a function. So you have to define here the function. So each that means every row. What is the column name? My column name is sales, which is greater than 2000. This is the way you're gonna write input. That means I'm going to filter a data in this table, will display only those rows having cells greater than 2000 value. So each keyword you have to define here. Now you just copy this step and paste it here. Now there is no error. Now run it. So what error is coming here? We cannot apply operator less than to type number and text. So if anything wrong, this type of error will display also here. So to modify, go to the advanced editor. Now each going to have a list under the curly bracket. Here I have given here under the curly bracket. So what I have defined table select rows is the functions. This is the table promote header. and each sales value is greater than 2000. Why should I write here under the curly bracket? We'll show you later on. We'll discuss this one also. Now hit OK. Sales wasn't recognized. That means the column you gonna put it here in AIM code, the code doesn't recognize. That means sales is not the actual sales is available in your table. So let's see what if their sales or something or is written. Sales is written. But sales is a text value because this is the data type. That's why it's not searching. This is also a text value. This is also a text value. In order to define this as a number, you have to change everything. So this just go to here and whole number. This is the user interface. You can have it like here. This is the whole number. This is the whole number. And the profit is also the whole number. That means I have defined everything in a number which was in text format. Now go to advanced editor. Now let's run again. Nothing is coming because I have changed this one. Change data because I have changed some data type of the specific column. Now in sales we have integer type. In quantity discount profit we have changed into integer type. These were as a text. That's why this step is inserted. So now just write here a change tag. Everything is written here change tag already. And now I'm going to have it under the square bracket. Is there any error? No error here. Now filtering data. Now we have sales value greater than 2000. Now you can see starting 2002. That means this action filters the data sales value having over 2000. Now this is the way. This is the first action I have defined here. Now what I want to define here one more action for your example. I want to sort the table sales value or the profit value in ascending or descending order. I want to performing the descending order sorting way. So sorting table. This is the name I have given for my own. Now I'm going to sort. So table sort. So what table I have to sort? The final step, that means previous step you have to define here. Now this data is the table name. And now I'm going to sort by the order date or order date we have. So I'm going to sort by order date. So just under the double curly bracket, uh, what is my column name? My column name is the order date. And order date and which order I want to have it. So order I want to have as ascending order. So I'm going to show you the order date in ascending order of this action. Now just copy this one this step to show, to display the result, just copy this one and paste it here. This time it's showing error because I have written here two steps, but M code is restricted to allow only one step to be displayed. So you have to comment it out. For commenting in M code, you have to give double backslashes. So it will ignore it. Now we have no error. Now sorting table going to perform order date in ascending order. Now let's see where is my order date. This is my order date is going to be ascending order. But this is a 15. This is not the actual result because this order date is also in text form. So you have to change it as a date type. So I'm going to this time use as a date type here. So just going to perform under this the steps which was written already. So write the column name, author date, then comma, which type, date type, date type. I have changed here. So you have to delete it from here, write it here for closing. Now let's run this one. Did you miss module reference? The import date type matches no export. So you have to define here what should be there for date type. So just commit here with the next step, advanced editor, and delete this one. Now you have to change here a date type. Now I am going to change it as a date type. Now let's check what happened. Type date. This should be there. So I'm not going to have a extra steps here. Just go and paste it here like this, and just going to delete this one. Delete this one, and here I have to sort table this step to be performed. So just go to write it here. Now everything is fine, no error is coming. Now let's run this one. Now you can see we have order date in ascending order. You can see there is a arrow coming up. I'm sure you have familiar with Microsoft Excel when you're gonna sorting a data, uh, sorting a data in a leveling column in ascending order, that arrow should be upside. When you sorting descending way, this arrow should display a downside. Now I'm going to just change it here, descending. So you're gonna write or define state for your action in Power Query Editor in Advanced Editor, or something you need to modify, you can do it in Formula Bar also. So just hit it. Now you can see it's a down arrow now here because I have sorted this column data in descending way. And now you can see these are this is the advanced editor where you gonna write encode for your actions. So whatever actions you gonna to display here, you have to define under the let expression, and after in clause you have to display the result. This is what the aim code is. Where to write in advanced editor or Power Query. You can do the same with the Microsoft Excel there, but we show you in my later video. This video we're gonna perform some more action. So now we have some table functions. So what are the table functions we have? First we have select rows, and then we have table sort, sorting the data of the column. Select rows, that means filtering the record only based on the condition you have defined. Now I'm going to perform one more actions for table related. So I'm going to have adding one additional column at the last with the calculation. So adding column. Now you have to give it a comma, table, add column. In which table you gonna add column? I'm going to, in this step, I'm going to add column. What should be your column name? Give as per your choice. Profit percentage. I'm going to have a profit percentage value there because profit and sales value are already exist in this table, and I'm going to create a calculated column at the last based on the value of profit column and sales column. We gonna have a formula to have their profit percentage. This is the column name I have to define here. Now each, that means for every row. What formula you want to have? Profit divided by sales value. That's it. And now I'm going to perform this data. Now you have to comment it out so that it will ignore by the system when you run the query. Either you can delete it from here, or if you want to have it here, just give a double backslash so that the query will ignore these steps. Now these steps I am going to perform here. Every column you gonna add will get added at the last. Now just go to the last column. Now we have profit percentage. We have created a calculated column. This is not available in your UI, user interface, or the options available here to perform the transformation or data manipulation. This is not available. So knowing M code is skilling you. You are going to make your skill up to mark. Now this is the profit percentage I have calculated as per the logic. You can do it more than me. Now, what questions is coming here this time, that this value is look like a floating value. Floating, that means decimals value. And decimals value is not a fixed up to 2 decimal or 3 decimal. It's not fixed. So result is coming, that is perfect, but not the way I require. What I want this 0.35 should be in percentage. So go to advanced editor to have a modification, or here percentage type, hit enter. Now you gonna see. Now it's a perfect. This is the way you can do with your M code. M code is a very good thing. If 10 people or 10 candidate is selected in the final round for Power BI developer, everybody has the same skills, but one has the additional, which is M code. And he can deal with the interviewer very well. Now you guess who got selected. So knowing additional skills not a bad thing. It will work for you. If not this time, maybe in future. Start knowing additional things every day. It's my recommendation. Have you subscribed my video? Not yet? Consider subscribing and share this video whomsoever you know. Stay updated. Now I'm going to perform some more actions. Go to advanced editor. So in table actions we have performed 3 things. Now I want to have some text function to be performed. So just going to have a comment, table functions, and now text functions. Now I'm going to show you few examples of text functions available in M code to use in Power Query editor to transform your data. Now, so I'm going to have upper cases of the customers column names. So what are customers available in my data set? I want to have it all in uppercase. So text uppercases I want to be performed here. So just give it comma because you are going to perform next step and the previous step should have comma at the end always. So going to have a table add column. I am going to have additional column so that I can show you whatever the existing customers name column, whatever ways they are defined, I want to have all those names in upper cases in the last column so that the original column is still there. That's why I'm going to add it at the last. If you want to have just replaces it where you can do it using transform column. But this time I'm going to use additional column. So in which table just the next step you have to define here and you have to the name of that column. Customers offer. This is the column name I have defined as per own. And now each every customer you want to have in upper cases. Text offer. Text text offer and then you have within the small bracket you have to define the column name. And my column name is customer name. So customer name. That's it. And now just comment it and have it here. Now let's run this. Now go at the last because adding column always be performed at the last. Now you can see the customers upper, the column name which I have given here and all the customer names are in upper cases. You can do it. Now the original customer name is here in a proper way, but we have that's why I want to show you by adding column here so that you can distinguish it. Now I'm going to use some other functions here. You can do it with upper, proper or lower. So you can do it by yourself. And now I'm going to perform a few numbers part. So now the number functions. So number function. Now what I want whatever the sales value what we have, we gonna restrict it up to 2 decimal value. So round numbers here you have to define. I'm going to add column. In which table? In text upper states over going to have a column name. So round figure by 2 and going to have each number round what is a value my sales column value with 2 and type number like this or type integer whatever you gonna. So I am going to have a round number by 2. This is my column name. Now just go because adding column always be at the last. Figure by 2. It's not rounded figure, no decimal coming here because sales value is not in decimal value. That's why. Let's see. Is there any decimal? No decimal value, that's why it's not coming. If decimal value is always be coming. So let's first add a calculated column like what we have a profit percentage. Before the percentage type, we have a multiple decimals value. So going to perform first this like this. So just go to modify this one, and this is a percentage type. Just remove this one, and now this is a percentage type what we have, and now I have to define over the profit percentage instead what we have used here, the sales. So here I am going to have this profit percentage. So just copy this one or adding column. Over this no issue, profit percentage you have to write here profit PCT. You have to write in the same way. P is capital. P is capital because these codes are case sensitive. You have to write everything the way you have find out. Now let's run this. Now we have this figure rounded up to 2 decimal value. You can check it here. So this way you gonna use a number functions in M code. Now I gonna show you some date functions. Date functions examples here. Now I am going to add one more column at the last which has 2 days or 5 days extra from the other date what we have in this data set. That means the existing column of other day, what days are there, we gonna add 5 days from that day. Going to add 5 days from the other day in a simple way. So adding 5 days here, and now just give it comma and you have to define here. So I'm going to have a table add column, additional column, so that you can go and refer both columns so that you can see the answer is coming in a right way or not. So in which column I want to have in this table, column name add 5 days, and here you have to define a function. Each for every row. So each date add days. This is the function had to be used here. In which column? My order date column. Here you have to give under this way. How many days do you want to be added here? I want to have a 5 days. From every date, 5 days. And this should be which type? Type date. And now close it. Now I have defined 5 days from the dates available in order date column. Now run this one. Now you can check. We have order date 24/12/2018. That means 24th December 18. Just go 24 plus 5, 29 should be the result. Here you can see 29/12/2018. Perfectly is coming. There are some more functions also available here. So I want to show you one function as a bonus. Those are the list functions. List function. If I am going to perform sum of the list that means the value available in a specific column, in one column. If I wanna have a profit column, then all the value of that existing profit column should be as a list. If I am going to have a sum of list, that means all the value getting summed up of that profit column, and output should be one value. That is what aggregation result. So I'm going to have a list sum value, going to define here uh, table. You have to define here, or you going to have a sum list sum, which you have to define here table, because if you will not define here, then how the system can understand which column you want to sum up. So you have to define it here. So how to define it here? We're going to have add column, that means it's going to have all the data summed up and the same result will be every row. Summed up, so I'm going to have a table. So which table? I'm going to have a table like we have adding 5 days. Just copy it here, and here we have what? Profit, like this. Now going to have it a sum. List sum wasn't recognized. Okay, I have given some this type of error because it's a case sensitive. Small s and cap s both are different things. Now we have the sum of all the profit value. That means you have used list sum to get aggregated value of the profit column. Total profit as 98,851. If you want to have a max, then you just replace this one as a max. And now hit it. Now you have the maximum value of 8,400. If you want to have a minimum, then you can use minimum. Now hit enter. You have a minimum value here -6600. So this type of list functions you gonna also perform here. But there is a change in the interface of this screen. Now you can see there is no advanced editor available here because you are going to perform over the list functions. List can be defined in the formula bar only. Now I can show you one or more example of a list. How to create a list. We'll do everything in the next video. We will have an advanced level of transformation steps going to be performed in the next upcoming video. But there are few basic things. What is a list? What are records? You going to be refer with the documentations of M code in official website of Microsoft. You can go and refer everything in details are available here. Now I want to show you what is a list. So I'm going to create a list. Creating a list should be under a curly bracket. So I'm going to perform 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this and hit enter. You have a list like this. This is one way. Now what I want 1 to 50. I don't want to have a 1 to 6 comma 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 like this. Just go double point 1 to 50. Hit enter. Now you have all the data. So you have to refer all the documentation part about the list, records. All the functions are available in your official website. If you want to have a record are defined within the square bracket. List is defined within a curly bracket. This video tutorial is all about how to write encode. So just you can see here the steps what you have performed here. Every step is recorded here in the right side in apply steps section. You can check under source every step you're gonna go and check like this and you have all the data available as it was. Now you can check you have all the data available here and now you have all the steps which you have performed is recorded here. You just go there and check every steps are available and you want to see just go to advanced editor and you have all the actions under let expressions and all the answers you want to display under in cloud. So overall under let you have to define action to be performed under in is the output area. That means what action you want to be displayed over here you have to define it under in. So there are two things in order to write and display the result. Under let you have to define the steps, action steps. Under in you have to display the result. This is the way you're gonna write M code in Power BI and same you're gonna perform in Microsoft Excel. We will have the same video but going to perform in Microsoft Excel going to be published uh, hardly from 10 or 15 days from now and we will see there. So hit the subscribe button and share this video whomsoever you know. Bye bye.